Thank you very much for attending today. My name is Peter Dembicki. I'm President and CEO of Tier 1 Silver. Tier 1 Silver is an exciting, aggressive exploration company focused with finding the next world's largest silver, gold, and copper assets with our flagship assets based in Peru. As far as management, myself as President and CEO, Christian Rios is our SVP of Exploration. This is a fellow that knows Peru like the back of his hands, formerly of Bear Creek Mining, integral in making their key discoveries in Santa Ana and Corani in Peru. So we're very lucky to have him on the ground leading the way for us. Bottom left corner, Ivan Bembic, my chairman, founder of my company, had very tremendous success at an early young age, founding Keegan Resources, turning it into a gold producer, huge returns for shareholders, and again, starting up Caden Resources and selling that off to Agnico for over $200 million in possibly one of the worst mining markets other than today. So not only is this group a proven track record of geology, but it is capital markets, and we know how to make that discovery, package it up, and pass it off when it's time to do so. Again, spoke to Christian Rios, spoke to our technical side, Antonio Arribas, former chief geologist of Newmont Global. So we have a fantastic technical ability within this small, nimble exploration company. Of course, if you're here, you know the power of silver. You know why we love this commodity. It has all the characteristics that we know and love of gold. Its investability, its hedge against inflation, its asset protection, hard asset. But silver also has all the use cases of copper that we know and love. So it's still the number one electrical conductor in the world, still using all our electronics, more and more usage in solar panels as we see that market pick up globally in a big way. This has become the first year in the last 7 that silver demand has outstripped supply, and we see that going forward and driving the commodity of silver higher and faster along the way. Of course, why are we here? We're here to make money for you. And we know that every time gold has gone on a run in recent history, silver has not only kept up, but it's surpassed gold in a big way almost every single time gold has gone into a bull market. So we feel we're on the verge of that. Gold always leads, silver always follows and then surpasses. And even when we saw it in 2020, 2021, silver going to $30 an ounce, the mania is real. It's such a torquey nature to it. And every kind of silver stock rides that wave with it, which we experienced a bit when we listed. So here we are in Peru. Peru still remains a fantastic jurisdiction to be an explorer in. It's the 3rd largest producer of silver, largest reserves of silver in the world, 6th largest producer of gold, and 2nd largest producer of copper in the world. Of course, we've had our political turmoil in Peru over the last couple of years, but right now, knock on wood, things are very stable. We have a new president in place. There's no federal elections set for the next couple of years. Things have really calmed down, and Peru is actually a fantastic place to operate. As a CEO of Tier 1 Silver, I'm already on my 3rd president of Peru, so we're used to the ups and downs. We're used to the turmoil. What we know in mining in Peru, it remains stable. This is such a livelihood of 30 to 40% of the GDP of Peru. So we continue to operate even when the politics around us are a little bit scattered. As an exploration company, you largely fly under the radar of any kind of political turmoil, as long as you have your community on board. Communities are key in this game, as we know globally. And if you have a community on board in Peru, you can largely ignore all the other noise. So here we are in Peru, our flagship asset, Curibay, located in the very south of Peru, right above the border of Chile. 6 years ago, we sent our technical team out to find us the number 1 precious metals target in all of Peru. Ironically enough, it didn't land us on this traditional epithermal gold belt, but right in the heart of this prolific copper porphyry belt, home to some of the giants in the world. Cerro Verde, a 4 billion ton plus operation. Cajone, Quellaveco, Tocopala, these are all billion ton plus copper porphyry open pit operations. Some of them have a 100-year mine life. There was a gap in the system where geologists for years have been looking for that next big copper porphyry hit. And then these majors and massive operations start up again in northern Chile. So when we set our geologists out to go find us the number 1 precious metals target and landed us here, it was super intriguing. We always like to stay close in the coastline in Peru. The moment you go inland in Peru, it gets a little bit sticky socially. So we want to keep it close to the coast where it's amenable to exploration and mining remains a viable part of everybody's day-to-day. So we went out and acquired 17,000 hectares of land. Really intriguing how we acquired this land. At the time, a third was owned by Teck, a third was owned by an Australian junior, and a third by ourselves. Teck was shedding land when base metal prices were depressed a few years ago, so we picked up their third at no cost. But the Australian junior would not do a deal with us, very stubborn, until they went home and finally turned into a hearing aid company that eventually went bankrupt and gave us a call, and we were able to acquire their third and consolidate this piece of land at a very low cost. As you can see where we're located, 40, 50 kilometers away from Tokapala, Quellaveco just to the north. But most importantly, since we've made our discovery, the majors have been staking ground in and around us in a very, very aggressive manner. And you can see all the names that are there are very interested in what we've come across at Curubaya. So anytime you have a raw piece of land that has not yet been explored, you just want to get a geological sense when you're starting your exploration that there's something there to go after. Now, in the world of silver, we're looking at what we call high grade, 250 to 500 grams per ton silver. Anything with half a gram gold up to a gram gold rock samples would really be intriguing at this point. But the results that we came back with at Curubaya were truly mind-blowing. Silver grades up to 300,000 grams per ton silver. Gold grades up to almost a kilo in gold. 80 plus samples over 1,000 grams per ton silver and 2.5 gram gold, situated over a 5 square kilometer footprint. This is only about a seventh or an eighth of our entire land package. So intriguing is an understatement. We knew we found something really special here, so we wanted to go out and see what we could find. In the natural course of exploration, the next best thing to drill result is channel sampling and trenching. So we did a robust program, and sure enough, to replicate some of those grades, and we did it in spades. 6 kilos, 12 kilos, multi-kilo, 300 plus grams per ton silver over longer widths like 20 meters. The grade here is just outstanding. So it was really something to go after, which is why it brought the confidence to bring out the drill. So about a year and a half ago, we conducted our first drill program. It was one single diamond drill rig, 5,000 meters of drilling on a never before drilled piece of raw property. So really, again, this is a tester to see what could possibly we have found here with all these incredible grades and rock samples and channel samples. We drilled a few deep holes to figure out if there was some sort of geophysical anomaly to go after. Didn't find the silver, so we shifted. Let's do short, shallow holes underneath our channel samples and trenches and see if we can replicate those grades. And sure enough, we started hitting almost immediately. 1.5 meters, 1.2 kilos, 2 high-grade intercepts, and we ended the program with our best intercept of the entire program of 1.5 meters of 1.3 kilos. So as a first pass of drilling, to have 40% of your drill holes being in this multi-kilo bonanza grade stage, we were completely blown away and really intrigued as to what we have. Now, of course, as management, as geologists, you always fall in love with your own story. We wanted to hire 2 world-renowned consultants to come down to the property and say, are we in love with this thing? Are we blinded by it? Tell us where to go, what to do next. They both looked at it and said, you guys are on the right track. All of your top intercepts came around the 1,900 meters in elevation. All of your top intercepts came within 100, 150 meters of surface. This has become a story about erosion. All of those massive copper giants to your northwest and southeast in Chile, the copper was outcropping on surface. That's how they were easily discovered many years ago. What you guys have is a preserved epithermal precious metal system sitting here. And if you go north on your property to this Kinbaya corridor, there's another 500 meters of elevation, which has preserved this precious metals. That is your number one target to go focus and get those big silver results. So we said, great, we love that story. And they said, hold on, we're not done yet. Remember those early drill holes you did in your campaign, the longer ones where you didn't find the silver and you pulled the drill hole? Well, we went back and studied the core and found that the base metals were picking up the lower you went. The moly, the heat, the fluid, the alteration, the fluid flow, the presence of a lithocap, porphyritic dikes emanating on surface. There is something driving this precious metals to surface and erosion over the years, and we believe it's a large copper porphyry intrusion. So this has brought a lot of attention to our company from the majors in the area that want to see what we have. And what we have is the complete system. Here's a review of the drill holes to the south of where we put holes in. These are the platforms that we've built out to go after the silver in our next campaign. We took a step back over the last year and really tried to preserve capital. We got rid of some portfolio projects because why not? This is a 100% owned piece of property with no payments on it. And we've only been looking at about a seventh or an eighth of the project. So let's go see what else is out there. We are in giant territory. And sure enough, we stumbled upon 3 other zones with extreme grade, again, that really help us along. You know, we have gold, we have silver, we have over 6% copper. So we have a lot of targets on our own property to go after that gives us a lot of flexibility going forward. As far as infrastructure is concerned, we're a 45-minute drive off the Pan American Highway. We're an hour and a half out of the city of Tacna with 300,000 people international airport. 2 deep water ports to our west that service all of those giants to our north. Hydroelectric station just to our north. We're 1,900 meters to 2,400 meters elevation in Peru. That's considered beach, ocean view, because they're used to operating at 4,500 meters and above. So the setup infrastructure-wise is absolutely fantastic. But of course, the key to any project when you're dealing with exploration in Latin America is the community. We recently signed a 1-year community agreement with our local community. At the end of the day, Peruvians want jobs, they want work, they want to see us succeed. So we have a fantastic partnership with them going forward. Again, a review of this Curabaya project, we're on the right address. We're home to some of the giants in the world. The scale of our project could get so big. But again, grade is king, always follow grade, and we're going to follow the source in our next raise that we do to raise capital and go out and drill that silver. We have the properties, we have the technical ability, and we have the management team that knows capital markets and really knows how to finance these things going forward. We have updated about 160 million shares out. Our current market cap is about 16 million. Think about this as where we've been. When we first launched this company 2.5 years ago, silver was $30 an ounce, interest rates were 0, everything you touched went up. Based on those early rock samples, our company went to a $250 million market cap. That was about $1.90 Canadian at the time, and here we're sitting at 10 cents, $16 million market cap. I can tell you it's been an incredibly humbling last year and a half as a CEO when I thought I was CEO of the year launching this company. But what an opportunity for new investors to come in and get a hold of something that has only progressed, gotten better, and gotten bigger. Thank you very much.